All right, welcome back, everybody, to the French Open, round 4, day number 2. And Djokovic Norrie, we're back. He's back. Let's see what he does. But interesting matchup. Norrie, they did play last week in Geneva, and Djokovic got the 3-set win. They had played 5 times. 5-0 Djokovic is the head-to-head. But Norrie has been a bit awkward for Djokovic in the time. So we'll see whether or not Norrie can do it again. Of course, Norrie beat Medvedev this week, which was impressive. And he also beat Fernley to get here. Winner of this will take on Zverev, who just took out the Greek Spore, unfortunately, with an injury. But Andreeva Pegula doesn't happen, unfortunately. Boysen, though, I tell you what, chat. We were talking about this in the last couple of days. Pegula Boysen should have been the night session. I mean, I know Sinner Rublev, but how are they not putting Boysen on night session? They're going to put Boysen on Andreeva's going to be the night session in a couple of days. It has to be. Unless they put Djokovic Zverev. But how do you not give Boysen night session? That crowd was going nuts. That crowd was going crazy. They got this wild card running through the tournament. And they're not giving her the crowd's gonna be going crazy for that. Cam, you look like Norrie. No, I just sound like Norrie because he's got the same name. So entertaining too. I know, right? Not Boysen, it's Bowsen. Okay, I'll get it right when we watch next time. Why do you look like Norrie with glasses? Because I don't? Can Norrie get the upset? Yeah, probably not. Are we still talking about the whole gender? No, we're not talking about that. Sad that I missed Pegula's match, but wow, what a win from an opponent. Yeah. Great win. All right. So players should be out on court. By the way, we've got Keys taking on... Keys is also taking on Baptiste. And they're just underway in the second set. Keys won the first 6-3. So that is happening. Also, Eala is playing doubles right now. Sorry we couldn't watch it, but I couldn't find it. So we're not watching it. But she is also playing doubles. So we'll keep an eye on that for you if you are wondering what she's doing. She's down. They're down against the number 2 seeds. So it's a pretty rough, not an easy matchup. But Eala is playing singles. So we might see whether or not we can... Because next week with the quarterfinals onwards, it's pretty light. So we might be able to watch a little bit of Eala in singles next week or this week while we watch the end of Roland Garros. But Oster lost to Kazatkina. Jannik destroyed Carlos in 16 slams. That doesn't matter. Djokovic seems to have been himself again after the pretty bad spring. Can he take it all? He's got a tough draw. Toughest draw. How you doing this evening? I'm doing great. Had some food, watched some videos, chilled out, ready to go for the next one. The Zverev match being delayed or being cut short was good, probably a good thing for my voice. Carlos is nobody. Oh my god. We're not even watching Alcaraz or Sinner. Can we not talk about Alcaraz and Sinner? We're not even watching them. My God. Come on. Save your complaining for later. Come on. On hard and indoor courts, Jannik has the edge. On grass and clay, Carlos has the edge. We haven't seen them play on every single surface yet. So we've got to wait until we see them on every surface multiple times to make any assumption. Draper will destroy Sinner. Okay. Let's just relax, everybody. Let's just relax. Let's just relax. Okay. Thoughts on Boysen? I have no idea because I didn't watch it. So, or Blazen? I don't know how to say her name. I'll figure it out. How about predicting this match? Djokovic 3, 4, or 5? I reckon Djokovic in 3. I reckon Nole's going to win 3. I reckon he might send a message by smacking this match. That's what I'm thinking. I think he wants to... One, he doesn't want Zverev to be too fresh. Like, he wants to make sure that he gets to Zverev... Get to Zverev at least with enough energy to play him without having... Like, not playing a 5-setter, right? That would be crazy. But I also think he wants to just show that last week Norrie winning a set was a fluke. He doesn't want to give Norrie any... He don't want to let Norrie, get away with that. Like last week should have been straight sets, But he let the second slip. Spelling is Blazen. Okay, Blazen. All right, Djokovic walking out. Here we go. Here we go, chat. Surprise, Jess lost. Should have won that. Yeah. But look, every tournament, there's one big run, and that's what's happening now. Blazen won, yeah. I think this will be 6-2, 7-6, 6-1. Yeah, I'm thinking something similar. When will you stream live from the tournament? That would be cool. Probably never, to be honest. Unfortunately, but I kind of rather be sitting in my house doing it. So I'd rather be sitting here doing it. It's a lot easier. I can go to bed straight away. There's no travel. Don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to, I can wear Ugg boots. Norrie seems to be in his best form in a couple of years. So interesting match, yeah. Norrie won Indian Wells, made the semis of Wimbledon. We all forget that. But Norrie was in 2021, 2022, like between October 21 and like October 22, that whole year, Norrie, he played the ATP finals, I think, as well, or at least he was an alternate. Norrie, that year was amazing. He had a great year. And I don't know what's happened lately, if it's been injury or if it's been just lack of form, but he's dropped. But it's great to see him in a fourth round here, and he's regained some form the last few weeks. Love that. Norrie was great for a while. Yeah. Novak's path will be toughest after Norrie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will be. I think the field has grown stronger over the last 10 to 30 years. But around 10 to 30, harder for the guys like Norrie. Yeah, probably that too. 2021, 22, there was still like a bit of a GOAT era, I guess, hangover or gap, right? Where there was not that many, you had this Zverev and Medvedev still coming up. So there was kind of, and Alcaraz and Sinner hadn't become anything yet until the end of 22. So yeah, you're probably right. It was like a nice sweet spot where it had a lot of opportunities. And Norrie took his, Whereas, it's but it's good to see him back here. It's good to see him back in the fourth round of a slam and get to play Djokovic. So we'll see what happens. All right. Okay. Players walking out on court, ready to go. Djokovic will win? Yeah, I think so. I remember when Norrie commentated on Djokovic qualification for... When Norrie commented on Nole's qualification for 2022 ATP Finals criteria. What do you mean? What happened in 2022? Djokovic qualified on his own. Norrie wasn't even an alternate. Norrie probably should have qualified because of winning Wimbledon or getting to Wimbledon semis, but yeah. Norrie in straights, you reckon? That'd be interesting. Norrie made comments about it. What did he say? Oh, Norrie says it's unfair that Djokovic is the only player to benefit from Wimbledon performance when the ATP. Oh yeah, go. Oh, so okay. So what Norrie was saying was because nobody got points, and he was one of the guys that didn't get points. That it's unfair that Nole, and I don't think this is against Djokovic. I think he was talking probably more against the rules rather than talking about Djokovic. But it's unfair that Djokovic was able to qualify for Turin because he won. He said Djokovic obviously qualified from Wimbledon, so that's a bit strange, but that's the way it is. So because he won Wimbledon, Djokovic got the automatic qualification. But I think he qualified on points anyway, so I don't think... And then he said, it seems unfair for me, and I guess Nick Kyrgios as well. He lost in the final, and he gets nothing. I don't think he was talking about, Djokovic doesn't deserve it. He was saying more that it's not fair that the points got taken off, but the Grand Slam rule applied still. And fair enough. But I think Djokovic qualified with points anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I agree. I mean... There's a lot of... I mean, it would be really interesting to go through and see what... If the players that played Wimbledon got points. I know that we can't really do it properly because a lot of players didn't play Wimbledon. But what if the points counted at Wimbledon? What the rankings would have looked like. Because Kyrgios and Norrie, I think Kyrgios would have been near top 10. Raducanu would have qualified for the WTA finals. So it would have been... It looked a lot different. But yeah. But I can see what he means. I mean, I can see what he meant. Maybe that's why there's some unsettling vibes between these guys, because Djokovic maybe thought that was a personal attack. But I can see what Norrie means. He's not talking... I don't think he meant Djokovic gets special treatment. I think he was talking more about the rule is silly. That the finalist gets nothing, but the winner can get automatic entry to the ATP finals, even though... it was worth nothing. Why does... Yeah, I feel like that's a valid point. But that was 3 years ago, so, I mean, I'm sure they're over it. And then Norrie hit Djokovic with a shot at the Rome Open. Yeah, I mean, that probably didn't help. That probably didn't help. The GOAT deserves special treatment. Okay. Hey, Angela, thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate that. Easy win for Djokovic. I don't think it'll be easy. But I think it'll be a win. It wasn't intentional, yeah. Yeah, Norrie didn't mean to hit Djokovic. He just could have hit it somewhere else. And he went down the line and it hit Djokovic, and Djokovic didn't take a lot. Yeah. Look, chat, in doubles, they don't even apologize for that stuff. We saw the other day, we're watching doubles, and they were just hitting each other like it didn't even matter. So, you know. Yeah, singles players playing doubles, they go crazy. In doubles, they just high five, yeah. What's going on? Stiz, how you doing? Remember when Demonor slagged off Djokovic in a press conference and then Djokovic beat him badly? Well, that didn't happen because Demonor didn't slag him off. Again, he was talking about the rules. I want to get it right. I don't know what he was saying. I don't even know what... I know what Demonor was saying, like what he was meaning, but... Players about to sub, by the way. He said something about vaccinated, like someone unvaccinated people, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly what it was. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Hey, Don! Thank you for the 45 months as a tier 3 member. Thank you for that. This one's getting physical. Will be a fitness test for Nole. Oh, yeah. Let's see how he looks. Those blisters are going to be tested big time. Thank you for the 45 months. Appreciate that.
Hi, Cam. It's my mum's birthday. Just started on the stroke of midnight. And as a big Djokovic fan, she's right now listening to your stream.
Hey, happy birthday to your mum. Shout out to your mum. Thank you, Linda, for the 5. By the way, Draper versus Bublik's coming on soon. Let's see how long it takes before somebody says, why are we watching Draper? Why? Why are we watching Draper? Let's see who says that first. I'm sure it will be coming up shortly. All right. Who you got winning this one, chat? You never watch Draper. Norway all the way. All right. I've got Djokovic in straights. I reckon Djokovic might just clinic this one. I'm going to go Djokovic in straights. And then to play Zverev fresh in a couple of days' time. Whew. Djokovic to serve. As Norrie hits it out in the return. 15-love. 15 love is with a backhand slice from Norrie. And then a forehand goes long, and it's 30 love Djokovic. $30 love. By the way, they got the Champions League trophy in the house. Love to see it. $30 love. As the return goes out by Norrie, $40 love. Keys is 4-0 in the second against Baptiste, by the way. $40 love. There's a bit of fault from Nole, second serve. Djokovic at the backhand wide. And it's 40-15. Hey, what's up, Lilia? How you doing? You could go for Norrie here, either straight sets or 4. I agree. As Norrie gets the second, another point, 40-30. As the return goes out by Norrie, 1 love Norway. First game of the match. All right. Norrie serves. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie into the backhand again of Djokovic. To the backhand of Norrie is Djokovic forehand. Into the backhand of Norrie is Djokovic with another forehand down the line. Norrie gets on the stretch. Djokovic forehand cross. Norrie backhand to the backhand of Djokovic. Into the backhand of Norrie. Djokovic backhand again. The backhand of Norrie. Into the forehand of Djokovic is Norrie. Forehand cross. Djokovic gets to the backhand. Into the forehand of Norrie. Again to the backhand of Djokovic is Norrie backhand cross. Djokovic goes down the line. Norrie gets it again to the drop shot of Nole. Norrie gets it with a forehand, but it's wide. Great rally. 15 love. Okay. 15 love. Also love 15. Serve again. To the backhand of Djokovic. Backhand from Norrie in the nets. And it's love 30. All right, love 30. Max said that Norrie was born in South Africa, grew up in New Zealand, studied in America, and he's British. Yep. As Djokovic is it out, 15:30. And we could probably dissect that even further to go, if you ask the question, why is that the case? Why is that the case? So let's break it down while we have a chance. 30-all. Why is that the case? Well, the reason why he's South African is because that's where he was born, right? So born in South Africa. Place of birth, right? Now, why didn't he play for South Africa? Because maybe they just don't have the funds for tennis, right? They don't have a tennis, they have a couple of players, but they don't really have a big tennis nation, right? They used to, and they still have many good players, but it's not the same maybe as other countries, right? As Norrie forehand, 30-all, into the forehand of Djokovic, forehand from Norrie, again to the forehand of Djokovic, as Norrie goes again to the forehand of Djokovic, to the backhand of Norrie, as Djokovic backhand drop shot, Norrie's going to get there, but Djokovic with the volley, Norrie with a forehand smash. Easy winner. Regulation smash, it wasn't a forehand. Anyways, 40-30. His family moved to New Zealand when he was 3. Because apparently South Africa was a little too dangerous for a kid. So they moved to New Zealand, and I don't know if his mum or dad was from New Zealand. His parents lived in New Zealand until 2023 before they moved to the UK. His dad's from Glasgow and his mum's from Cardiff. So his parents are British. So he was born in South Africa. His parents are British. Right? So that makes sense why he represents the UK, because his parents are British. So he is British. He was just born in South Africa. He grew up in New Zealand, which makes sense for the accent. That's where the accent comes from, because he grew up in New Zealand. And he went to college in America to pursue tennis, which is kind of like a normal thing that players do. So I guess he could have chosen South Africa because it's place of birth, but he was there for 3 years, so that doesn't make sense. Because he probably feels like he's more British, obviously, than South African, because his parents are British, and he comes from his parents, so you would probably represent the people that your parents, like your parents' places of birth, right? Unless you lived in South Africa for, 20 years. He was only there for a couple of years before they moved. 16 years old, he moved to the UK. So he was in New Zealand for majority of his childhood. As Djokovic breaks, 2-love. Majority of his childhood was in New Zealand, so that's again why he has the accent. Why didn't he represent New Zealand? Well, apparently he did. He represented New Zealand up until 2013. And then he started representing the UK. He represented New Zealand, and then he went to college, and then he came out of college and represented the UK. But again, why wouldn't he represent New Zealand? Well, maybe it's because they don't have a massive tennis culture, right? There's more opportunities. Djokovic almost played for the UK. Djokovic was almost playing for Britain because Serbia weren't in a position in the early 90s or in the 90s. There might not have been a Serbia, right? There was a chance that he couldn't represent Serbia. And there was opportunities with sponsorships and stuff by playing for the UK. Similar to Raducanu, right? I mean, Raducanu could have chosen 3 different places to go. She could have played for China. She could have played for Romania. She could have played for Canada, which is where she was born. But she went for the UK. So it's like, it's kind of like Dasher coming to Australia, right? It's where's the most opportunity for tennis out of those bunch? The UK has a massive benefit for tennis, right? They've got Wimbledon, right? And they've got Wimbledon. The LTA is massive, right? So there we go. There's the breakdown of why Norrie, why is he from all around the world, but he plays for the UK? His parents are British, and he wants to, and probably because the opportunities are much bigger playing for the UK than it would be playing for other smaller countries that have a niche tennis audience and a niche tennis academies and niche facilities, right? I don't know if New Zealand have a tennis. I know they have a tennis event, but I don't know if they have a tennis like organization that can like with players and facilities and stuff. But the UK do. They got a whole history of tennis. $15.30. Norrie didn't represent New Zealand because there wasn't enough funding to go around to a lot of players. So he went to the UK. Yeah, so he did represent New Zealand before he went to college. But he went to college at 19. So maybe in his junior years, he was playing for New Zealand as a junior. But he wasn't playing. Yeah, he obviously didn't represent New Zealand on the main stage in the pros. After coming out of college, he represented Britain. 15.30 here. Djokovic forehand to the back to the forehand Norrie. Djokovic forehand again to the forehand Norrie. Shanks it out, and it's 30-all. Let me have a look. So did he play juniors for New Zealand? Did he play juniors? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Norrie in juniors, he was ranked number 10 in the world, 2012, 2013. He was number 10 in the world in 2013 with a 68% winning record. Most of those on hard courts. Let me see. Can I check how... He actually plays Zverev in a couple of tournaments. Let me have a look. If I flip around with Zverev... Did Zverev play a British Norrie or a New Zealand Norrie? Doing some real detective work today, chat. So, he played... Okay, so actually, no. Norrie played for Great Britain as a junior. That's interesting. As we get to deuce, Djokovic is starting to get really annoyed at something. See, I don't know. He obviously... Maybe he didn't play juniors as a Brit. As New Zealand. It says here, he represented New Zealand where he grew up before switching in 2013. May of 2013. Oh, so maybe he played Zverev after that. May of 2013. Oh, okay. So now I know what's up. So in the juniors, he switched. So in June of 2013, he was British. When he played Zverev in the juniors, he was British. I have to go back further then. What about when he played Kyrgios in the juniors? What was he then? Anyways, Djokovic, backhand from Norrie goes to forehand to Djokovic. Norrie puts it away, and it's advantage Norrie. Advantage Norrie. Oh, no. January 2013, he was British, playing for Britain as well. You know what they might have done, though? They might have changed the website just to have it like... Oh, yeah, he's British. So everything he did was British. Let me check. 2013 Oz Open Juniors. I'll tell you what, 2013 Oz Open Juniors. Kyrgios, Jera, Chung, Garin, Chorich, McDonald, Nishioka, Kokonakis. A lot of familiar names from 2013 Australian Open Juniors. Yeah, Norrie was British. It was from New Zealand in 2013 Australian Open Juniors. Djokovic in there. We're back on serve 2-1. So Norrie represented New Zealand half of his junior career, and the second half, in his junior career, that's when he switched to playing for Great Britain. Then he went to college, played for college, came out of college, was British, and stuck with that. So he did represent New Zealand, because when he played Kyrgios in the juniors of the Australian Open in 2013, he was from New Zealand. Interesting. There you go, chat. Interesting to me. I don't think anyone cares in the chat, but I care. And you have to deal with it. You have to listen to me speak. But you don't have to. You can mute me. Yeah. So the timeline of Norrie, born in South Africa, moved because it was too dangerous at a young age, went to New Zealand, him and his parents, stayed there for the most part of his childhood. As a junior, represented New Zealand, but then halfway through his junior career, decided to go represent the UK, which his parents are from the UK, one from Wales and one from Scotland, which is Britain, right? That makes up Great Britain. And then he went to college in the US for 3 years, came out of college, started professional tennis under the British flag. And now he's here. So that explains the accent. That explains why he has an accent that doesn't match his flag. He's British. He doesn't have a British accent, and he plays for Britain. Like now it all makes sense, chat. We know everything we have to know about Norrie. We just can't understand his backhand. Where did he learn that from? That's what I want to know. How did he learn to hit that backhand? All right, back on serve 2-1. As we go back in now to the front of Norrie. Norrie in the net. Love 15. Love 15. Apparently, Greek Sport pulled his abdomen this morning in the warm-up. That's a shame. Also, Keys is serving for the match against Baptiste. As with a lovely volley from Norrie, 15-0. 20 minutes for 3 games, chat. Welcome back. Back to the grind. All right. As with a fault second serve. His new name should be Nomad Norrie. But he's 100% British though. That's the thing. Like he's British by blood. Like his parents are from the UK. So like everything else is just location because of, birth or childhood. But he is British by birth. Like he's British by blood, right? If his parents were like one was from here, one was from there, and they moved here and they were here, but no, his parents are like one's Scottish, one's Welsh, and he is their son, and they're both from the UK. So he is British. He just doesn't sound British. But he was born in South Africa, but that was like obviously his parents were there for some reason. Like that's his birthplace, but it's not his. He's not. Like his parents are British. Neither of his parents are South African. So he's 100% British by blood. But birth, obviously, that throws it in the mix, Which is so weird why he doesn't get embraced. Is it because he doesn't sound British? Is that why he doesn't get embraced? If he sounded British, there wouldn't be a question. But he doesn't sound British, so people question why is he British? It's like because his parents are British. It's a simple answer. So maybe if maybe we should embrace him. Embrace him. Anyway, it's 15:40. Djokovic at the break again. Yeah, his parents must have been like, must have travelled for work or something. I don't know. I wonder what his parents did for work. It'd be interesting to know why. The reason why Like, were they in South Africa for work, or were they there for whatever reason? Backhand drop shot from Djokovic is good. Norrie gets it with a slice. Goes wide, and it's 3-1. I'll tell you what, though, chat. It's interesting. It makes it interesting. Maybe you don't find it interesting. I find it interesting. When Cam is off in the clouds. What are you talking about? They were microbiologists. Really? Oh, fair enough. That's cool. That's cool. Norrie's more British than Rosetsky? Yeah. I don't know if Rosetsky's... I don't know what his parents... where his parents were from, but yeah, Norrie's parents, British. So it makes sense. He's British. All right, 3-1. I see someone who grew up in the UK as like Raducanu is more British than someone whose parents are British and grew up elsewhere. Not that it makes much sense. Norrie is not British enough or anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's a harsh though, because it's not Norrie's fault that he didn't grow up in the UK. His his parents chose to live in New Zealand. He didn't really have a choice. All right, 15 love. As a default second serve. All right, 15 love. There's a bit of backhand now from Djokovic, the backhand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out, 30 love. Keys Gauff confirmed. All right. Chuck Norrie. Funny. All right, 30 love. There's a bit of fault from Djokovic, second serve. By the way, those debating Djokovic's parents' countries of origin, we got to remember that back in the day, even when Djokovic was young, that part of the world was not split the way it is now. As Norrie hits a winner, 30-15. So in hindsight, we can say, well, she was born in this part, which is now called Croatia. He was born in this part, which is now called Serbia. Back then, it was one big thing, right? So that, it's different to Norrie in that way. That's not true. I thought they were all split back in the day. (1991) was when Croatia and when Yugoslavia broke up. And Djokovic was 3, right, at the time, or 4. Anyway, it's 30-15. As Djokovic goes down the line, Norrie with a round the leg shot, but it goes in the ground, 40-15. It says here the breakup of Yugoslavia was Croatia, Bosnia, Slovenia, Macedonia, and then Serbia and Montenegro. Again, I'm not super familiar with what it all is, but I'm trying to piece it together. We're not doing politics. This is just a understanding of people who were talking about Djokovic's mum was Croatian. So yeah, but at the time, it was one big place, wasn't it? Was Croatia a country on its own before 1991, or did it become Croatia after that, and then Serbia after that? Or was it always... Yeah, Yugoslavia was one country, right? And then it split up into little countries with different names. Yeah. Right? So going back and saying Djokovic's mum was born in this part of Yugoslavia which is now Croatia, saying that she's Croatian and Djokovic is Serbian, or they're not, like, his parents aren't from Serbia. Technically, in today's world, yeah, but back then, it was all one big place, so it didn't. Is that right? Like, it doesn't make sense to kind of retroactively be like, well, his parents are from different places. Like, well, no, it was one big place. It'd be different now if, like, his mom was Serbia, like, if someone from Croatia and someone from Serbia met and they, different now. Back then, they were all from the one big place. And then when they started to split, which is why Djokovic left and why Djokovic almost played for the UK because of all the war that was going on between the countries, right? Back then in the early 90s, that's why Djokovic almost played for the UK as well, which is such a crazy story. And what could have happened? You're wrong, don't talk about Djokovic. Bro, we're watching Djokovic. Okay. Monica Seles was born in Yugoslavia, today Serbia. Yeah. Okay. That's a different thing, though. That's a different person. You understand the matter very well? Yeah, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand it. Anyways, 4-1. Djokovic leads. Your granddad was from Yugoslavia. Nice. Geez, Cam, you're wrong all the time. Yeah. You were born in Yugoslavia. Nice. All right. Love 15. As Djokovic hits it forehand long, 15-all. Oh, different person, but it backs up what you're trying to know. Yeah. I'm just trying to understand it. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so that used to, because I was not around when that all happened, so I don't fucking know. I'm trying to figure it out. 15-30, chance for Djokovic to get the 5-1 lead here. Norrie was raised in Serbia or the UK? No, he wasn't. Djokovic wasn't raised in the UK. From what I can recall, and I have to dig deeper, but there was a chance for Djokovic to gain residency and, I guess, for him and his family to pursue tennis in the UK, but he would have to play for the UK. So I guess it's kind of like Martina. He would have had to maybe give up his Serbian passport to be a British, British, right? Like what Martina did when she left to go to America, 40-30, which is not too dissimilar to what Dasher's done to come to Australia, right? 40-30. Into the backhand of forehand rally, Norrie. Again to the backhand of Djokovic. Forehand from Norrie. Again, the backhand of Djokovic. Into the forehand of Norrie as Djokovic backhand again. Into the forehand of Norrie as Djokovic to the forehand down the line goes long and Norrie holds. 4-2. I think I've got to do some more digging on Djokovic, but I think there was a chance there that he had a choice that he could either pursue tennis in the UK as a UK resident or as a UK citizen, I guess, in some way. But he would have to maybe get rid of. He wouldn't be able to play for Serbia, and that was the point where he went, "No, we're going to play. We're going to play for this. We're going to play for Serbia." And then obviously the legend of what happened, and how he, that's a great story. We'll probably get a movie about it one day. Hopefully we do, because it's probably a way more interesting story than most players in tennis. How they came up and how they did things, and how they came about. I mean, they should make a movie about Djokovic. Who would play Djokovic though? That's the question. 4-2. As Norrie slices it back into the backhand of Norrie. Norrie puts it away, and it's love 15. He went to Germany. Oh, was he in Germany, was he? See, I would love to. I want to see a movie of this, of Djokovic's life, because the early years are so interesting. All right. As Norway gets to 15-0. So in 2006, there was an article that came out and says here, Djokovic still in Britain's sights, but Serbia digs heels in over switch. 2006, that was when Djokovic was 19, right? Like he was 18, 19 back then. I'll read it out in a second. You know the match is pretty one-sided when we're talking about going this deep. But I think it's interesting. Maybe you guys learn something. Maybe I learned something. I will learn something. 400 backhand rally. That goes in from Djokovic, 30-15. All right, so Serbia's Novak Djokovic, the youngest player in the top 40 and a close friend with Andy Murray, remains on target for the LTA despite mooted statements to the contrary of the 19-year-old Belgrade-born player during the French Open. His mother spoke to the LTA in April of 2006 during the Davis Cup tie with Serbia versus Britain. And the LTA chief back then said, the ball is in their court. That's the bottom line. We cannot do anything until they make a decision. So I guess Djokovic in 2006, I mean, him and Murray could have played for the... Imagine that. Can you imagine? Murray and Djokovic both being British back in, like 2006 was like when Djokovic started. Then Nole said... That year, he said, it's big pressure for sure from my country, from the media, from the people. I just don't want to talk or think about it anymore. And then it says, it talks about Rosetsky a little bit. To have Murray and Djokovic, two of the most promising players in the world, playing under the Great Britain flag in the future would clearly be a tremendous boost. At a time when British tennis, Murray accepted, has scraped the bottom of the barrel and found nothing but a hole. How weird is that statement in 2025 to hear? 19 years later. How weird. I'll read that out again because that sounds so weird to hear that after what has happened in the last 20 years. 40-30. That is a crazy... This is an article from 2006, by the way. 40-30. Djokovic serves. Into the forehand of Norrie. Return goes in the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie forehand. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Again, the backhand of Norrie. As Djokovic to the forehand down the line. Norrie forehand goes cross to the backhand of Djokovic. Into the forehand of Norrie. As Djokovic again with the backhand, but Norrie hit it out. 5-2 Djokovic. To have Murray, Djokovic, two of the most promising players in the world, playing under the Great Britain flag in the future would be clearly a tremendous boost. That is such a weird statement. That is such a weird statement, right? What the hell could have been? Imagine that. 2006, you got Murray and Djokovic playing for the UK and Nadal Federer. That is such a weird concept. That is such a strange idea. What if that had happened? That would have been wild. That would have been insane. But we wouldn't have known what we know now, so it wouldn't have been that weird at the time. We would have just been like, oh yeah, okay. But man, what a crazy thing to think. Tom Cruise is going to play Novak in a movie? Maybe. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right. But thank God he didn't, eh? I think what would have happened if he did play for the UK, he probably would have ended up coming back to Serbia anyway after a couple of years. I don't think he would have played for the UK for the entire career. I reckon he would have eventually gone back, played for Serbia after a couple of years or something, and maybe wins his first slam and then things settle down in Serbia, maybe goes back, represents him again. It just depends on what the terms of the deal were going to be, right? Djokovic, by the way, he's got the blisters on the feet. He's just getting it treated. I prefer a documentary, not a movie. Yeah, I mean, I would love a section about that whole situation. That is such an interesting... I don't think that gets talked about ever. Well, actually it does. We talk about it. But, what an interesting thing. How crazy... how crazy would that have been? That's crazy. Chad, am I the only one that finds that super interesting? All right. Djokovic just wrapping up the feet. As he leads 5-2. Fascinating fact. I know, right? Norrie's background is good to know. Yeah, I think it makes a little bit more sense why Norrie, the question is why is this, why is that? We understand Norrie's background a little more, so we can kind of understand it. All right. No, Djokovic doesn't have an injury. He has blisters on his foot. He had them a couple of days ago, and he has them now. Djokovic is dealing with blisters. Right foot blisters. He had them 2 rounds ago, and he's still got them. It's not an injury. It is an injury, but it's not not a bad injury. It's just an annoying injury. Double fault from Norrie, and it's love 15. All right. Serve again. Into the back of Djokovic. Backhand now from Norrie. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Is Norrie backhand again. Into the forehand of Djokovic. Is Norrie with a forehand cross. Djokovic gets there with the backhand. Is Norrie forehand. Into the forehand of Djokovic. The backhand of Norrie. Djokovic forehand on the stretch. Norrie backhand down the line. That's a great shot. Djokovic slices it back. Into the forehand of Norrie. Norrie overhits it. Love 30. Love 30. Love 30. Serve again. Is a fault. Second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Norrie. Djokovic back into the nets. That was an awkward backhand. Now, his right foot is the foot that will take the weight of his shots. What do I mean by that? So when I draw it on a piece of... I'll draw it on this. I'll draw it. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As Norrie hits it out, and it's 15-40. And Djokovic breaks to win the set. All right. Djokovic breaks to win the set. All right. All right, chat. So this is what I mean by Djokovic's right foot takes the weight. So when you're hitting a forehand, hang on. When you're hitting a forehand as a right-hander, you usually use an open stance forehand, right? So it means that like when you go out this way, your right foot will be on your forehand side, right, as a right-hander. And you don't usually use your left foot that much. You put all the weight on there until you transfer the weight onto your left foot. But you put your weight on your right foot first. Same with the backhand. If you go with a closed stance, it goes on the right foot, right? So that's his feet. All right. So closed stance means you step across, right? Hang on, what am I doing? So backhand, yeah. So backhand, he steps across with his right foot, puts the weight on that as he hits the shot, right? Open stance, right foot. So his right foot's getting a lot of work out, right? And he's got blisters on his right foot. So his right foot is taking all the weight on his ground stroke. So that's why it's annoying. But also, it's why you might see him like kind of fall off shots. Because he's probably going to put the weight on the foot. It's going to hurt. And he's going to be like, oh, shit. And try and, like, take the weight off the foot because it hurts. Does that make sense? So his right foot's doing a lot of work. And his right foot's the one with the blisters. I don't know where I think the blisters are at, like, sort of the bottom of his foot. Like, that's the foot. And I think they're sort of inside bottom of the foot. So that is something that... if you see him like falling over, or if you see it, that's why the blisters are frustrating, because it's going to be the part of the. Can you please stop? What are we doing? Chad, can you pay attention? Yeah, ouch, not fun. Now, the good thing is, because somebody said this before, Chung at the Australian Open retired from blisters. Yes. But the good thing about clay is that you can slide. A lot easier than hard courts. Hard courts, when you land, your foot gets stuck and your whole foot's like, taking the impact. You can kind of like slide a little bit on clay. Now, that might not be a good thing for the blisters because it could slide on the blister. But at least it's a little bit more forgiving playing on clay. So you won't have that jolt like you do on a hard court where it's like, you're jamming the blisters and you're really like, hitting them. So it won't be any more comfortable, but it might be a little bit easier to deal with if he just, with the sliding of the clay. So he doesn't have to like put as much force onto his feet when he's moving to the ball, when he's playing on this court. As opposed to Australia when you have to like stop and start so much, and there's no give. All right, 6-2. Also, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. All right, Norrie wins the first point of the second. Love 15. Love 15. All right. Second serve, Djokovic. As we return to the net from Noel, and it's love 30. Love 30. with a serve into the backhand of Norrie. Return goes to the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie on the stretch. Again to the forehand of Djokovic. And Nola hits it wide. Love 40. Cam knows something in the 90s. He's definitely not young. It's called reading a book. Love 40. Was it a fault? Second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Norrie. Return goes the backhand of Djokovic. But Djokovic hits it out. Norrie breaks. 1-love in the second. Chad, have you ever heard of World War I? Yeah, me too, but I wasn't there. But I have heard of it. And I have read about it. I've read books and I've seen stuff about it. But I'm not 97 years old. All right. Break for Norrie. As with a backhand return. Into the forehand of Norrie. Backhand out from Djokovic. The backhand forehand of Norrie. Into the forehand of Djokovic is Norrie backhand. Into the forehand of Djokovic is Norrie backhand again to the forehand of Djokovic. Into the forehand of Norrie. Now, my grandparents were too young to be in the war. As with a forehand down the line to the forehand of Norrie. Again to the forehand of Djokovic as Norrie goes to the backhand of Djokovic. He had the drop shot in the net though. 15-love. All right. 15-love. As the backhand goes into the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie forehand on the backhand slice on the stretch. Into the forehand of Djokovic is Norrie backhand again. Into the slice of Djokovic who hits a drop shot. Norrie gets there, but it's in the net. 15-0. By the way, somebody said the best way to gauge age is not by looks. It's by looks, not wisdom. Okay. That is like, no. There is no way to gauge age. Some people could look 20 and be 50 and be super smart. Like, that makes no sense. That's literally judging a book by its cover. And we get told constantly not to do that. Come on. Are you serious? That made no sense. Backhand, yeah. You look this age. Yeah, but I'm not. But you look it, so you are it. You know, too bad. Backhand to backhand rally as that goes out by Djokovic, and it's 30-15. What a crazy statement. Come on now. That's crazy. Not by wisdom, but by looks. Okay. Because that's reliable. Because people look their age. Like, exactly. All the time. Everybody. Nobody looks younger or older than their actual age. They all look the same. Exactly that age. 30-15. As it a forehand over Djokovic, that goes out. 40-15. As the return goes in the forehand of Djokovic. Djokovic in the net. 2-love Norrie. All right, 2-love. Norrie with the break. Commodore 64, I know what that is. It's like a computer, right? All right, 2-love. As Djokovic serves a fault, second serve. Second serve. Don't act like you never played it. Don't act just because you're a member you can't get in trouble. As at a backhand down the line, to the backhand of Norrie, Djokovic volley. Norrie with a lob, Djokovic with a smash, put away, 15 love. Just because you're a member doesn't give you plot armor. You've been timed out 13 times. You don't get plot armor if you're a member. There's no protection for members. Members don't get the right to just be rude. Just because their name's green. There's no, that doesn't give you, it's not a thing. 15 love. Is it a forehand inside out? The forehand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out, 30 love. $30 love. $30 love. As the return goes into the backhand of Norrie. Mod, stop banning people. Everybody is talking about age. Can we move on? It's really annoying. Almost as annoying as me talking about Norrie's origin story for 5 hours. 40 love. As we're let by Djokovic. As we're just serving the back of Norrie, return goes out, and it's 2-1 Norrie with a break in the second. All right. All right. Two one. Cam, do you think Nole is ready athletically to face 5-set matches against Zverev and Sinner? I'll be honest. If this blister issue is a problem, the Zverev match is going to be tough. The Zverev match is going to be tough. I don't think he beats Sinner with or without blisters, but I think the Zverev match, Djokovic has to get out of this match in straight sets. If those blisters are, because they can only get worse, blisters, right? The only way they get better is by not aggravating them. You can't play tennis and the blisters get better. Unless there's a magical potion that I don't know of. So I think if his best chance against Zverev if he wins this in straights. But like I said, I still don't think he beats Sinner. But because we know that Zverev's going to be a grind, right? Zverev's match is not going to be... Zverev doesn't play fast, so it's going to be a grind. So Nole's going to have to get those feet as working as well as they can, and he's got to get that blister sorted as quickly as possible if he is going to have, be able to grind it out for 5 hours with Zverev. Pardon me. As Djokovic hits a return winner, love 30. But if he plays a 4-set match here that's like 3.5 hours, that doesn't help. Especially with, and Zverev didn't play a long match today anyway. So he's fresh. Djokovic has got some blisters going on. But he's got to get off this court as quickly as possible, rest his feet so he can get those blisters sorted and hopefully managed by Zverev's match. Hopefully he'll play the night session on Wednesday. So that way he gets even more time. But, yeah. I think Draper... You know what? Draper Sinner's going to be the night session because Draper's British. Has got a volley from Djokovic as a winner. And it's the Love 40. And I say that because I think the broadcasters are mainly British. So I would say that they want Draper on prime time for the UK. Even though Djokovic probably wants night session so he can at least have more time to recover, I think Draper Sinner is going to be night session because of the broadcasters. Love 40. Djokovic to break back as Norrie hits it short. Djokovic forehand cross. Norrie backhand on the stretch. Goes out. 2-2. We're back on serve. Main broadcasters TNT is American. But like... But isn't Eurosport bought up by TNT? So TNT might be the parent company, but Eurosport are the... Is it Eurosport or Sky Sports? They bought one of them. Anyway, it's 2-0. Either way, I still think Djokovic versus Zverev, they're more likely to give Draper, and also because Sinner's playing tonight. So they're probably going to give Sinner 48 hours to recover if he wins. TNT owns Eurosport. And I guess Eurosport do German as well, but so Zverev. But yeah. I think they're probably going to give Sinner Draper anyway, because of the because Sinner's playing tonight and they'll give him the most time to get ready. Sky Sports only do ATP. Okay. God, chat. Tennis is getting harder and harder to understand who owns what. So weird, chat. Tennis is so hard to follow. Tennis is so hard to follow. All right, Djokovic double faults. 15-0. Just wait, chat, when someday that Netflix buys the US Open and then Disney Plus have the Australian Open and another service have the French. It's going to be like 3 different streaming services have a Grand Slam each. It's going to be hopefully Tennis TV never goes away, because Tennis TV at least has everything in one place. I really hope Indian Wells doesn't get bought off Tennis TV to go on something else. Like, that would be can you imagine how shit it could be? Chad, and this is not a promotion for Tennis TV, but it kind of is. Tennis TV is so good because it could be way worse. Like, can you imagine if, like, you couldn't watch the 1000s because they were split over 10 different streaming services, and every streaming service you had to buy? Can you imagine? But thank God for WTA and Tennis TV, because they've, at least for Australia, I don't know about everywhere else, but thank God for them, because it's all in one spot, and it's already hard enough with the Grand Slams being all over the place. But can you imagine if Indian Wells was like on ESPN, and then you had Cincinnati was on something else, and then you couldn't even watch Canada because it was on Canadian TV instead of broadcast onto something like that? Would be a shit show. God, that would be bad. Not a sponsor, but I am an advocate for it, because it could be worse. They're keeping it together. I mean, it would be so easy for them to just sell the rights to everything. You know? It'd be brutal if every tournament had a different... You had to have a different streaming service. Ugh. Yuck. That would suck. Anyways, 30-0. Or Tennis Channel, like, sold Indian Wells rights to something, and you couldn't watch it on this, and you had to watch it on that. And God, it could be way worse, chat. We're sort of lucky in that regard. That at least outside the slams, it's all in one place. For the most part. Obviously, WTA and ATP are not on the same page, but could be way worse. Imagine that, chat. Every other week you'd have to... Like Miami and Indian Wells being on 2 different platforms. Can you imagine? You couldn't just watch one. You had to... Oh, yuck. God, if that ever happens, chat, that would ruin tennis forever, I think. Could you imagine? Don't put ideas in the head. No. They won't do it. This is an advocate to support... I'm doing this as a support those platforms, because if you don't support those platforms, that could happen. You know? So even more so, I know people, don't like to pay for it, but if you don't, they might be forced to sell it. And then shit, what do we have then? Then we can't watch anything. As Norrie gets to deuce. So yeah, maybe next time we start going, oh man, Tennis Channel, blah blah blah. Nah, they're trying to keep it all together. They're making it convenient, even though it might be pricey. It's still convenient. And hopefully, let's hope never one day that Indian Wells and Miami all go different platforms. That would really hurt. That would suck. Backhand return goes into the smash of Djokovic. Backhand pass from Norrie's too good though. Advantage Norrie to break again. All right, advantage Norrie. Advantage Norrie. To take the break again in the second. As we just serve out wide is an ace from Djokovic. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. I thought price is reasonable. 120 a year is good for me. Yeah. I'll tell you this, Chad. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. If you're going to pay for streaming, you should pay for live sports streaming. Because you can't get that any other way, right? Unless you're a tech whiz. But then if you want to watch television shows and movies, buy DVDs. Just buy DVDs. Go to the thrift or go on eBay or whatever. Buy DVDs. Because you can watch them whenever you want. But you can't watch live tennis, so you might as well spend the money that you would spend on streaming services for movies. Spend that on live sports because that is something you... And then buy DVDs. See, once a day, chat, I'm going to say it. Advantage Djokovic. So spend the money you'd be saving on a streaming service, spend it on a tennis live streaming service. So then you can watch the tennis and then watch whatever movies you want at home because you have a DVD. And you don't have to... Yeah, worth it. Boomer take. Okay. It's called big brain take. Excuse me. Are you telling us to go to the charity shop? I told everybody to go to the charity shop this week and buy something from the charity shop /thrift. Go do it. At the end on Friday, we're going to share what we bought. Everybody's got to go do it. Go to the thrift this week and find something cool. Buy it, and we're going to discussing on Friday. Smash from Djokovic is the winner advantage. Me included. I haven't got the chance because I'm being asleep. But I'm going to go this week too. I'm going to find something cool. Advantage Djokovic. You just donated a bunch of stuff to the thrift? All right, now go in this thrift and buy something from the thrift. Is that our homework? Yes. And we're going to do show and tell on Friday. So make sure you're ready. Forehand goes into the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand now from Norrie. Again to the forehand of Djokovic as Norrie Forehand goes wide and Djokovic holds 3-2. We might even set up the Discord where you can take a photo of what you found at the thrift and we'll put it on the screen and we'll do a show and tell for real. Except it'll be show and I'll just talk to the chat. So everybody go to the thrift, find something cool. It could be a tennis racket, it could be whatever. It doesn't have to be tennis related. It could be anything. And then take a photo of it, put it in the Discord, and then we'll show it on Friday. Show and tell Friday. This might become an everyday thing. Sounds fun? Thank you, Laura. It does sound fun. It is fun. It is fun, chat. All right, Djokovic 3-2. See real people? No, you don't have to talk to anybody. I didn't say go and make friends. You don't have to go out and say, and you just have to say, you just have to walk through the cash register. I brought a grandfather clock. Whew, that's sick. I went into the raffle to win a grandfather clock at a thrift this couple of weeks ago. I think it's going to be drawn in like October. Does garage sale count? Yes. Yard sales count. Garage sales count. Anything from a second hand. All right. 3-2. Chat, you will be astonished how cheap things are at the thrift. You will lose your mind. You go there and be like, oh my God, I would have spent like $40 on this thing and it's only $2 because somebody opened the box. Oh my God, that is so cheap. 15 love. I love a garage sale. Oh, me too. I'm going to go to so many garage sales in the second half of the year. Once it's after the US Open, I'm going yard sailing. I'm going crazy. Djokovic is out 30 love. I have nothing else to do. Seriously, chat, you can find some real bargains at the charity shops. Thank you, Dan. You can. It's a life hack, chat. It's a life hack. Charity stores and thrift shops are a life hack. I was at a backhand out from Djokovic. Into the forehand of Norrie. Forehand from Djokovic to the backhand of Norrie. Into the forehand of Djokovic. As Norrie backhand again to the forehand of Nole on the stretch. Norrie. Again to the slice of Djokovic. As Norrie hits a drop shot. Djokovic backhand pass. Winner. 30-15. 30-15. All right, 30-15. Do you have a boat? Australia is a beautiful country that has seas all around it. I don't have a boat. They're expensive. And I am not. As the forehand now goes in the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand from Norrie on the stretch. Djokovic, forehand, open court. Norrie's going to get there with a slice. As Djokovic hits the drop shot, but it's in the net. 40-15. I have a CD player in my car. I always get CDs from the charity shop. I'm going to start doing that too. I got an idea to like go to the thrift, find CDs that are like those compilations from like the 2000s where it's just got a bunch of popular songs. Not look at the songs, just buy it. Like just buy the CD and then put it in my car and listen to the music. Not knowing what the hell I just bought. For $1. It could be terrible. But it could be great. Like, who doesn't want to listen to a random bunch of songs from 2002? Yeah, like now. Yeah, that's what I call music. Yeah, now, or like whatever they call it. You know, those compilations? Anyways, drop shot Djokovic is too good. 40-30. All right. 40-30. Yeah, you could uncover some crazy ass music that you forgot about. Love me. 40-30. Cam's living in Australia, not the US. And 40-30. As a default from Norrie, second serve. As a backhand return from Djokovic into the backhand of Norrie on the stretch. Djokovic forehand to the backhand of Norrie as Djokovic forehand again goes down the line. Norrie with a slice. As Djokovic forehand inside out. Norrie forehand goes again to the forehand of Djokovic. Into the backhand of Norrie. Djokovic gets the point though. Norrie in the net. Deuce. All right. We get the deuce. All right. Norrie with the fault, second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Norrie, backhand of Djokovic to the backhand of Norrie. Djokovic sliced lob, and Norrie puts it away. Advantage Norrie. Advantage Norrie. By the way, Draper and Bublik are 4-3 first set. As Norrie holds, 3-0 second set. All right, 3-0. Back to Norway. This match is moving quickly. It's only going to be 2.5 hours. Maybe. Anyway, slice from from Djokovic, and Norrie puts away the forehand winner. And it's love 15. Norrie looks like a player, 2000 tennis player. Before 2000 tennis. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I understood. Okay. And it's love 15. And the return goes into the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie with a forehand into the forehand of Djokovic. As Norrie forehand again. To the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie down the line as Djokovic goes cross-court with the forehand to the backhand of Norrie. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie forehand cross again to the backhand of Djokovic down the line of the slice of Norrie. With Djokovic forehand. Into the forehand Norrie. Lob goes up. Bounce smash from Djokovic. Norrie slices it back. As Djokovic forehand again, cross court. Norrie's there with a slice into the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie can't get that one. 15-0. Great shot from Norway. 15-0. Keys quietly going through the draw. Has Keys made the quarterfinals of every slam after today? Has she accomplished that feat today? I think she did, right? Yeah. Oh, actually, no. So she made the semis of Roland Garros in 2018. Well, how? Wow, okay. Interesting. She beat Osaka along the way. 2018 French Open Keys semi-finals. Okay, I'd never remember that. She's only ever made the quarterfinals of the Wimbledon twice. All right, Djokovic 15-all. Got a serve out wide the backhand of Norrie and Djokovic to the net. Norrie hits the baseline and Nole doesn't like it. All right, 15-30. And through the serve again. And the return goes in the forehand of Djokovic. Back in at Norrie. Goes long. Djokovic 30-all. Hope Bublik wins against Draper. Why? All right, deuce. 30-all. Keys will probably face Coco in the semis. Isn't she playing Coco next? She's playing Coco in the quarters. Right? Yeah, and Andreeva's taking on Bowsen. Fix yourself a Vegemite sandwich. No. Backhand from Norrie is good. Djokovic puts up a lob. It goes out. Norrie's got a break point, 30-40. This commentator is getting ready to nap. Bro, I'm right here. I can see what you're saying. I can hear you. Chat, that chatter is chatting. All right, 30-40. And as Djokovic serves. And the return from Norrie goes to the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie backhand. Into the net. We get the deuce. Coffee, are you talking about the TV commentary is really going crazy for Draper? I'm not listening because I'm not watching that. Anyways, Djokovic gets to advantage. Advantage Nole. Advantage Nole. As the return goes into the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie backhand to the forehand of Djokovic. Again, the backhand of Norrie, who hits a lovely winner down the line. Back to deuce. Back to deuce. Serve again. All right. Advantage Djokovic. Norrie hits it up. All right, return goes to forehand of Norrie. Sorry, Djokovic forehand on the stretch. Oh, no. Norrie with a lovely drop shot. We get the deuce. Jeez, Norrie is lifted just like he did in Geneva in the second set. Also, Bublik's up 5-4 against Draper. Does Djokovic seem bothered by the blisters? Yes, he does. All right, deuce. Serve out wide. Norrie returns in the net. Advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic. We're going to serve again. Out wide of the forehand of Norrie. And then Djokovic drop shot in the net again. And Norrie hits the line again. And Djokovic is getting pissed off at the fact that Norrie keeps hitting the line. We get back to deuce. All right, we get to deuce. As the backhand return goes out by Norrie, and it's advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic. Advantage Djokovic. Serve to the backhand of Norrie. Return winner. Back to deuce. And again, Djokovic is looking at the coaches like, what is it? How is this guy doing this stuff? Back to deuce. Nice work by Norrie. Beautiful backhand pass. Serve again from Nole. Then Djokovic has an ace. All right. Advantage Djokovic. As we get a fault, second serve. Second serve. Into the forehand of Norrie. Forehand from Djokovic to the forehand of the backhand of Norrie. There's Djokovic forehand again. Into the forehand of Norrie on the stretch. Djokovic forehand down the line. Norrie's there with a backhand into the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie with a forehand slice. Djokovic with another forehand to the backhand of Norrie. And Norrie hits it out. Djokovic holds. And he's trying to get the crowd going. He's saying they're a little too flat. Djokovic finally holds. 4-3. Interesting that the crowd are not responding to a long hold. Like, Chad, do you think tennis fans' behavior is changing towards certain styles? Like, people aren't like as impressed by a long service hold as they are with a, maybe it's been like this forever, but it feels like a long, intense hold like that isn't as exciting as Alcaraz doing some crazy shit. And now that we get more and more young players doing crazy things and less players grinding out a long hold where it's like, that's a great physical achievement, but it's also like, meh, whatever. Like, it's not interesting as like an exciting fireworks display, right? Whereas back in like maybe 10 years ago, those rallies and like those games, probably a standing ovation, like, whoa, what a great hold after 20 minutes. I don't know. Just interesting. Do you think maybe that's like Djokovic having to get the crowd to be like, oh, that was good. Yeah, it wasn't that was a good hold. Like they want hard hitting. Yeah, I think this year this generation we have more like excitement than whereas maybe 10 years ago it was more about like the physical effort of like holding and the mental effort of going through that game would have been like a real big, cheer. Whereas it's not as exciting as like I said, Alcaraz. Feast Draper, Runa, Fonseca, Ben, Mensik, Young Guns. Yeah. I mean, yesterday, I can tell you straight away, yesterday's match with Alcaraz Shelton got way more reception than this. That match got way more, because it had just way more excitement. Whereas these two guys are more of the old school. They're not, Norrie's not going to hit winners. He's not going to try and go for his shots like Shelton was, right? And Djokovic is a grinder, Norrie, by the way, just getting his left foot attended to. Looks like he's got a bit of an ankle issue. Obviously, Shelton Alcaraz was so much more enjoyable. It was. All right, Norrie's getting a medical timeout on the ankle. Draper, by the way, is about to win or get a break in the first. New fans like flashy stuff. Yeah, I think just new age tennis is the game is more. I mean, how many people call Jannik Sinner robotic? And maybe it's his personality or whatever, but compared to Alcaraz, who's like the excitement machine. But I think it's the styles as well. It's not just the personalities, it's the styles. Draper breaks. Nice. Ben played really well yesterday. Oh, yeah. He played amazing. But the thing is, as the rankings show, a player like Sinner, who's a little bit less flash and a little more like the Djokovic's and the old school players, is on top of the rankings by a mile. So I mean, what the crowd want and what your goals are, maybe it's better to be Sinner than try and please try and be the most entertaining player. I mean, it's been like that forever, right? The most entertaining players, unfortunately, don't always become the best players, right? They're not always the best players. Whereas the boring players, I'm talking Lendl, Sampras, those boring players are the ones that achieve the most because they don't care what the crowd want. They're going to play how they want to play so they can win. And winning can be boring. It can be you can win in a boring manner, in a conventional manner. They're not going to do something crazy just for the sake of it. They play strategic and calculated and smart. And not to, not that Alcaraz can't do both, but the guy who's on top of the rankings by a long shot didn't get there by hitting tweeners, You're right, Lendl was viewed as a robot. Yeah, I heard that. I never watched Lendl, but I heard that he was seen as robotic and he was kind of emotionless and, when you had like the McEnroes who were like super energetic and super animated. All right, Norrie serving after treatment on the ankle. Djokovic has the lead though, 4-3. There's a back from Norrie, inside out goes wide. Love 15. Modern tennis dominates old school gameplay, maybe tennis requires that to survive these days. No, I agree. I think the modern game definitely, we've seen it, right? You can go Alcaraz versus Medvedev, Zverev, Tsitsipas, any of those guys who play that older style. And when I say older style, I mean just like baseline grinding, like defensive baseliners, right? The younger guys who are playing the more aggressive style, the Drapers and Sinner and Alcaraz. I mean, Sinner's a bit of both. I think Sinner's definitely got a lot of defense, where he'll rally and then he'll pull the trigger. Whereas Alcaraz is a little less patient than Sinner when it comes to the rallies. Alcaraz is looking to hit a winner on every shot he can and try and find the winner quickly. Musetti's a little bit of both too. He's sort of a bit of the defense. He'll slice backhands. He won't try and go for winners off the second shot, whereas when he played Rune last night, Rune was going for the winners, right? And it was love 40 Djokovic. So there is definitely a place for like the 2015 style of tennis, the Murray and Djokovic styles. But you also do need to have weapons where you attack. Otherwise, you're going to stand back and just rally until they hit a winner, and you've just got to wait for them to make it. You're kind of on the back foot. Norrie double faults. No, he doesn't. It was a let. It's still love 40 though. Still love 40. And then he served the fault. Now he's got a second serve. That goes into the back end of Djokovic. Return the forehand to Norrie. Norrie hits a winner. Djokovic couldn't run to that. Yeah, Djokovic couldn't move to it. He went to push off and his feet just didn't stick. Yeah, Djokovic couldn't get any traction. Still break point though, 15-40. Norrie serves a fault. Second serve. To the forehand of Djokovic. Return into the forehand of Norrie. As Djokovic forehand to the backhand of Norrie. To the forehand of Djokovic. Norrie backhand again. Into the forehand of Djokovic as Norrie forehand to the backhand of Djokovic. Into the forehand of Norrie. As Djokovic backhand. Into the net. 30-40. Still break point for Djokovic. Norrie down the tee, the forehand of Djokovic. Return goes out. We get to deuce. Good defense, or good serving from Norrie to defend against the breaks. Draper looks good. Draper 7-5 first set. Nice. All right. Norrie serves a fault. Second serve. Return goes back into Norrie. Forehand from Djokovic. Into the backhand of Norrie as Djokovic backhand to the backhand again of Norrie. Into the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie with a forehand. Into the forehand of Djokovic as Norrie backhand slice. Goes into the forehand of Djokovic. Again the backhand of Norrie. As Djokovic forehand again to the backhand of Norrie. Into the forehand of Djokovic. He goes down the line for a winner. Great shot from Norway. Break point. Advantage Djokovic. To take the break. Serve. There's a fault by Norrie. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Djokovic, return. Into the forehand of Norrie. His backhand of Djokovic to the backhand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out. Djokovic breaks. 5-3. 5-3 in the second. Winner of this will take on Zverev. Okay, Djokovic for a 2-set-to-love lead. As a default from Djokovic, second serve. As no double fault by Djokovic apparently. Yep. Love 15. As the return goes to Forehand Djokovic, back in out from Norrie. Into the Forehand Djokovic as Norrie into the net. And it's 15-all. A bit of fault from Djokovic, second serve. As the return goes down the line from Djokovic. And it's 30-15. As the return goes into the forehand of Djokovic, backhand from Norrie. Into the backhand of Djokovic as Norrie again to the backhand of Djokovic. To the forehand of Norrie as Djokovic backhand into the net, 30-all. All. Serve again. Into the forehand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out. And it's set point Djokovic for a 2-sets-to-love lead. (40-30). As we had a fault, second serve. Second serve. Goes the forehand of Norrie, Djokovic into the forehand of Norrie as Djokovic again to the backhand of Norrie. Norrie hits it down the line for a winner, and that's deuce. We get to deuce. There's Norrie in the net on the return. That's advantage Djokovic. And Djokovic serves again. And Norrie returns it long. Djokovic, 2-1. Sorry, 2-love. 2-love. Two sets to love. All right. Djokovic cruising at the moment. Was down a break in that set, though, early, but obviously wasn't the worst thing. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Bublik or Kyrgios, who is a more talented player? Kyrgios. Kyrgios is the more talented player. Six-0 head-to-head loading. This Djokovic is not beating Zverev. Yeah, well, look. This Djokovic doesn't have to beat Zverev today. He just has to beat Norrie. And then he'll try and beat Zverev in a couple of days. And play differently to give him that chance. You know that Bublik actually has a lovely game to watch. Yeah, I'm not saying that Bublik isn't fun to watch or good to watch or anything. I'm saying that I think out of the two, Kyrgios is more talented. I mean, the results show themselves, right? Like the result, like if we compare Bublik and like Bublik and Kyrgios side by side, the results, and maybe Bublik in the next 3 years makes a Wimbledon final, or starts beating Djokovic consistently or whatever. Because he's 3 years behind. He's 3 years younger than, or 2 years younger than Kyrgios, right? But as of now, number 17 in the world at his best, Bublik. 4 titles. 4th round of the Grand Slam twice is his best result. Those titles have been... Masters 1000 quarterfinal twice only. And that was way back. That was that wasn't recently. That was back in 2021. A couple of years now. He has won a 500 tournament in Halle. But yeah, his records in finals: 4 wins, 7 losses. Whereas Kyrgios, as to now, 7 titles, so not that many more. 13 in the world at his best. He's made the quarterfinals or better at 3 slams, including the Wimbledon final. He hasn't done well at the French, but he hasn't played the French, basically, lately. And his stats are, he's made the quarterfinals or better at 4 slams, Wimbledon twice, made the final, of course. And his titles, I think he has like 2 or 3 500 titles. So yeah, his finals record, 7 wins, 4 losses. So they both made 11 finals. Kyrgios has 7 titles out of 11. Bublik has 4 out of 11. He's got 4 500 titles out of those 7. So again, the results, even though Kyrgios, we all know, didn't apply himself, blah, 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 blah. But if you put Bublik and Kyrgios side by side, most talented, I still go with Keegs, because also the record shows that when his talents are at his best, he can win stuff too. Like he beat Nadal a bunch, right? He pushed Federer a few times, right? He's obviously beaten Djokovic a couple of times. So I'd still say Kyrgios is more talented than Bublik. But then Bublik, in the next 2 years, he could maybe catch up to Kyrgios's, results. And we could be saying that maybe Bublik's more talented than Keegs. But I still think Keegs takes it. I wasn't comparing him to Kyrgios, Cam. No, somebody else asked that question, Joanne, not you. I'm just saying that I'm just responding to what you were saying before I responded to what they were saying or what they were asking. Somebody was asking the question. Who is more talented? And yeah, Kyrgios got injured. I mean, look, Kyrgios did this all by age 28 and then he got injured, right? So Bublik is at where Kyrgios is. Like Kyrgios had his best season at 28, 27, 28. Bublik is 28. So, yeah. So we can kind of compare the two side by side because Kyrgios hasn't been around for the last couple of years. Even though he's 2 years older, he hasn't been around for 2 years. So at 28, where were they? Kyrgios was like up here in comparison. And again, there's an argument to say that Keegs should have been top 10 because of that Wimbledon final that he didn't get points for. Like if I go look at the rankings at 2022 rankings, right? At the end of 2022, and if we add the points to Kyrgios' ranking, where would he have been? So Kyrgios was ranked number 22 at the end of 2022. Now, I know other players ahead of him would have got points as well, but let's just give him 1,200 points. He would have been on 3,000 points, which would have put him at number 10 in the world. And yeah, okay, players that were ahead of him would have got points too, and it wouldn't have been, but he would have been almost at number 10. And if I go back a couple of months, because he didn't play the end of 2022, right? He got injured in the Asian swing, I'm pretty sure. Where was Kyrgios' ranking around September? Yeah, so Kyrgios was 20 in the world after the US Open. If you add 1,200 points to that ranking, he wouldn't have been top 10. But yeah, he would have been flirting with the top 10 towards the end of that season had he got those points. Maybe if you, again, not doing the math on everybody else. All right. 30 love. As we return the net from Norrie, 40 love. Will Kyrgios ever win the Grand Slam? Probably not. Just because the injury he's got seems to be forever. Like it doesn't seem to be just like going away. Cam, do you think that Kyrgios, with all his talent, has underachieved in his career? No. Because at the end of the day, he still was in the GOAT generation, for the most part, and not many players, even the hard workers, didn't get much. You know what I mean? Like David Ferrer, right? He had a Grand Slam final shot. I'm not saying that Kyrgios and David Ferrer are the same. Would Kyrgios have maybe won a couple extra 1,000s? Would he have done maybe more? Would he been like to the quarterfinals of slams more? Maybe. But I don't think he would have... I don't think... If he hadn't have made the Wimbledon final in 22, I would have probably said, maybe if he had applied himself, he would have done more. But I think that Wimbledon final, at least whenever he retires, that will kind of validate him if he needs that, right? Or if anybody needs to be validated by Kyrgios, right? I think that validates his career and goes, he made a Grand Slam final. A lot of other players suffered at the fate of the GOATs too, right? So I would say no. I don't think Kyrgios is a wasted talent because he did fulfill his talent. He made a final of the Slam. He won a bunch of trophies. He got a bunch of big wins. Could he have done more? Not at Grand Slam level because it was still dominated by GOATs. Could he have beaten Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal to win Slams? Well, not many players did. In fact, hardly anyone does. Could he have done it? I don't know. Probably not, right? Because nobody else could. As a backhand winner there from Djokovic, love 30. But he probably could have won maybe a couple more 1000s, or maybe could have won a couple of 1000s, right? He could have maybe won more titles, but I don't know if he could have won any more slams. But again, it would be interesting when he does retire, what he does. Like when he turns 40, right? Does he reflect on his career in the way of like, oh man, like it's all what he thinks, right? It's not really what we think. If he thinks, well, if I applied myself, I would have retired early and I would have hated it. Then, like, let's say he applied himself and then he got to 28 and he was like, this sucks, I'm out. Would that have been better? Or him going the way about it that he is and still going? Like, who knows? You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. It kind of comes down to what he's thinking, right? Like if he thinks, man, I wish I kind of did this, then we can all go, okay, he acknowledges that. But if he doesn't think that and he thinks, well, if I had done this and done that, I wouldn't have achieved anything. I would have hated it. Then we'll find out. But I think I don't think he's a wasted talent. And it's arguable that he would have done better if he had applied himself. It is arguable. Because a lot of other players did apply themselves and they still couldn't do it. A lot of talented players did apply themselves and still couldn't beat the GOATs at their peak. Right? Break, Norrie, 2-1. I feel like it's debatable. I'll tell you what, a Wimbledon final is not that bad. Like if that's the only thing you did, a lot of players only made one Grand Slam final, and we praise them. You know, we praise a lot of players. We praise Tsonga, we praise Berdych, we praise Baghdadis. You know, at times, you know, we praise even now we praise guys like Tsitsipas and Zverev, right? And yeah, they're more accomplished with slams and with 1000s, but there's a lot of players that over the time, their best result was a Grand Slam final, like Kyrgios. So, yeah. Yeah, Nishikori, another one, right? Yeah, there's a lot of players. But again, it's just maybe a combination of both. Like the era was so hard, but also, there wouldn't be a guarantee that he would have won slams if he had applied himself, because if he had applied himself, the GOATs were still there. They were still there. I respect your opinion, but I think he could have had a better career. Yeah, like better career, more titles, 1000s, yeah. Grand Slam success, though, had he applied himself, it still would have been bloody hard to beat two GOATs in a row to get to the finals. And like I said, many players had tried, and many players that applied themselves and that were still super talented were very, very, you couldn't do it either. But like, I agree that he probably could have maybe won more trophies. But I don't know if Grand Slam success would have happened. But again, you have to ask him when he retires. He will be the one who says, man, I could have, like he might go, I could have done better. I could have won something like that. Or he might just be like, nah. And I think he would be the latter, right? He would say, no, if I applied myself, I would have grown to hate the game and I would have retired at 25. Like, I feel like that would have been his... He would more likely say that, because that seems to be more... Like, if people were making him do what he didn't want to do, he wouldn't want to do it, you know? All right, 15 love. Drop shot from Djokovic. There's been a slice from Norrie. Djokovic forehand pass, the winner. His career is not over. That's exactly right. Who knows? In, 6 weeks' time, we could be talking about him as a Grand Slam champion. La, 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 la. Can you teach me a backhand volley? No, because you weren't listening to my Kyrgios story. No. And then you said la, 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 la about when I was talking about Kyrgios. No. Is it a final from Djokovic down the line? That's a winner. 40 love. Love. 2 hours played, by the way. Love. All right, Norrie gets the winner, 40-15. By the way, night session starts in 2 hours. De Minaur win Wimbledon. We can suffer in our imagination. What? 40-15. Return from Norrie goes out. And Djokovic leads 3-1 in the third. Do you always stay up all night, Cam? Yep. Was that a fart or Mia groans? Mia's just chilling. Demon Slayer Draper in 4. What? Demon lost. Bublik wins Wimbledon, mark my words. Okay. What is it, Bubba? What's up? You like my stories, don't you? You listen to me. You listen to my stories. You were interested about Norrie's origin. You love the Djokovic story how he could have played for the UK. You want to hear about Nick Kyrgios. You listen to me. As it a fine down the line to the forehand Norrie, Djokovic to the volley, love 15. Love 15. Is that a dog or a cat? It's a bear. All right, love 15. It's a baby bear. It's a little bear. See, look. Hello. Love 15. Can Djokovic beat Sinner? Probably not, but why are you looking at Sinner? You should be looking at Zverev. Love 30, Nole. Love 30. As the return goes into the forehand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out. Love 40. How's Mia feeling after being taken short last? You mean after being sick yesterday? She's all right. She's good. You're good, aren't you? You're good. You're good. Love 15. Love 40, sorry. As we do return now into the forehand of Norrie. Djokovic lob. Goes long. 15-40. All right, Norrie with a fault. Second serve. Serve to the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand now from Norrie into the forehand of Djokovic. As Norrie forehand goes wide. Djokovic gets the double break. 4-1. Oh, was she sick? Some of the chat thought she did a poo. No, she was sick. She's all right, though. She was just overheated. But she's fine. This is embarrassing for Norrie. Is it, though? There's going to be Djokovic's 62nd quarterfinal. Wow. To get to... Oh, at a slam. That's crazy. That's crazy. Also, his 100th Roland Garros win. Nice. Is Bublik beating Draper? Holy shit. Bublik is beating Draper the second. What the hell? If Draper loses, chat, he's going to win Wimbledon. Bublik is serving for the second set. I know, right? Ah, 4-1. As Djokovic serves. Norrie hits it out in the return. 15-love. I wouldn't mind if we were following both. No, that sucks. Because we're not. All right, 15-love. Djokovic serves. As the return goes wide by Norrie, and it's 30-love. As the return goes into the net by Norrie, 40-love. As the return goes in the backhand of Djokovic. Drop shot is good. Norrie forehand. Winner. 40-15. You're crazy that Rublev will leave the court with bloody knees. Jesus. It's going to be crazy. Yep, we got... That match starts in 2 hours. Yeah, down. Down. Okay, 40-15. Djokovic serving for a 5-1 lead. This is an annihilation. Despite Norrie being up like 2-1 in the second, which was a nice little brief cameo, it's been a beatdown by Djokovic. All right, 40-30. 40-30. Did Bublik win the second? Holy shit. God, I hope Draper doesn't lose. 40-30. As the forehand return out of the forehand of Djokovic. Forehand now from Norrie into the forehand of Djokovic. As Norrie into the forehand again of Djokovic. Norrie with a slice. Djokovic forehand again. As Norrie backhand pass. Djokovic with a half volley drop shot. Winner. 5-1. Djokovic. I thought Cam said Bublik would never beat Draper. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I did say that. And he hasn't beaten Draper yet, has he? Not that I can tell. So we'll wait and see. We will see. We will see. We will see. All right, Norrie serving to stay in the match. By the way, 22 minutes third set. This has been a quick set by Djokovic. All right, Norrie serves. As Norrie hits it wide and Djokovic gets to love 15. Love 15. Love 15. Rublev, can Rublev beat Sinner? Well, I think he can get a set. What's your dog's name? Her name is Mia. Bublik is underrated. Yeah, a little bit, but not on. I mean, on clay, he's like, it's ridiculous that he's even in that match. 15-all. As Djokovic hits down the line and wide, and it's 30-15. 30-15. Hope Saturday Sinner comes back. Yeah, Saturday Sinner was crazy. Bublik is Kyrgios 2.0. Is he? 30-15? Maybe. As the return goes into the backhand of Norrie. Norrie hits a winner, 40-15. You haven't responded at all today. What are you talking about? I've been talking to the chat all day. More than I've been talking about the match. 40-15. As it a backhand down the line from Norrie to the backhand of Djokovic. Norrie backhand again, the backhand of Djokovic. As Norrie gets the game, 5-2. Norrie makes Djokovic serve for the match. I challenge you to 3 sets in Acapulco. I decline because I ain't going to Acapulco and I'm retired. Alcaraz has played a lot of tennis. He has. But he also didn't play Madrid, so... Yeah, this was a 3-setter in Geneva. But Grand Slam Djokovic is different. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Djokovic serving for the match to make the quarterfinals. And to take on Zverev. Why did I retire? Because I decided to stream my life away. So here we are. If I play tennis chat, I can't sit here and watch these matches with you. So it was a choice that I made. 5-2. As with a fault from Djokovic. Second service, 7 for the match. This is the best case scenario for Djokovic, though. Get through this match in straights. 2 hours. As it a 4 out of the 4 to Norrie. Backing out from Djokovic. Goes long. Love 15. Love 15. First serve is a fault, second serve. As a return from Norrie goes in the front of Djokovic. Djokovic hits it wide. Love 30. Love 30. Chance for Norrie to keep this match alive. Serve to the forehand of Norrie. Norrie hits it out, 15-30. Have we already streamed a 5-set of this tournament? Can't remember. No, we haven't. Which is so weird that we haven't. Because usually we have by this point, but we just haven't. Because all the main players haven't had a 5-setter. I mean, if I look at the matches that we might have watched, that we could have watched that were 5 sets, as we to serve into the forehand of Norrie, back into Djokovic down the line. Norrie with a slice. It was Djokovic into the forehand of Norrie. To the back end of Djokovic. Norrie with a pass. Djokovic with a volley. Norrie gets it with a slice, but it's out. 30-all. So, Feast versus Munar. I mean, that would have been... We would have watched that on a day that... If it wasn't... on a day that wasn't busy, but obviously the day that we watched that match happened, everything was busy. Demonor, we wouldn't have watched him play Bublik. Greek Sport Quinn wouldn't have watched that. Misilic versus Shapo, we wouldn't have watched that. Runa Alice, we maybe could have watched that, but again, it was a night session on the first couple of days. I can't remember what we watched instead, but we didn't watch it. We could have maybe watched that. Hashanov Paul, that was on a busy day, so we didn't watch that. And then, yeah, like all the top players that we've been watching religiously, every single day, haven't played 5. So, yeah, it's been a strange tournament. I feel like there hasn't been that many 5-setters either. Well, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 5-setters. But most of them were in the first 2 rounds. So, as Djokovic hits a winner, and it's match point Nole, 40-30. So, yeah, but this time last year, we had Djokovic played 2 5-setters to this point, right? We had... I think an early Zverev or Medvedev match was 5 sets, right? We had a lot of 5-setters to the key players we watch, but yeah, we just haven't seen a 5-setter yet. We almost had one with Carlos the other night, and also with Draper Monfils. As Djokovic serves out wide, Norrie returns in the net, Djokovic wins. That is the best way he could have won going into the Zverev quarterfinal. The 5-setters are yet to come. We're going to have some 5-setters over the next couple of days. There's going to be a 5-set match from the quarterfinals onwards. One of those matches will be 5. I don't know which one, but there will be a 5-set match. And it may be Djokovic versus Zverev. Another quarterfinal. I think his 100th French Open win. Is that what somebody said? 100th Roland Garros win. Which is crazy. But he's into the quarters, and he'll play Sasha in a couple of days. Zverev head-to-head is super underrated versus Big 3. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's decent. I'm about to ask him if he's going to retire. Yeah, every day. Oh, man. Does Zverev have much more time to rest? Not really. Like a couple of hours. 26 consecutive sets and 21 consecutive wins in this venue. Yeah, that's crazy. Win 100, personal record. Yep. Cam, no offense, but I hope Draper doesn't end up like Norrie. Yeah, Fraser, you've said like 20 times, and I don't think he will because Norrie was never top 5. Norrie didn't make it to a 1,000 final after that. Norrie, there's so many differences between Draper and Norrie, so you don't have to worry. Draper's not going to end up like Norrie. Draper was younger as well. I mean, don't worry. But please don't spam questions in the future because it is really annoying. Like, I will get to your question, just don't need to copy and paste constantly. By the way, if you are leaving, don't forget to sub. If Bublik beats Draper, that is ridiculous. Yeah, handshake was good. Alcaraz will get 2 days off after tomorrow. Yep, that's how it works. Players that play tomorrow get 2 days off. The men's winners get 2 days off. You picked the wrong match to stream. The entertainment is in the other match. Yeah, I'm happy that we're not watching that match. I'm happy we watched this one instead. Much less screaming involved. Also, I got 2 hours until the next match comes on, so I got plenty of time that I need to do. There's so much I need to do that I can get ahead of now. That's great. We were supposed to watch Zverev, so Zverev and Djokovic matches were supposed to be at the same time. So I'm happy. I'll take the 2 hour break. I'm pleased with that. At this stage of the tournament, having an easy match is nice, because I know after today it's probably not going to be. I'm going to be losing my voice, so anything to avoid losing my voice. Bublik toying with Draper at the moment, yeah, it's crazy. It's funny how I find it funny how you say easy match. It's physical for you too. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's 2:30 in the morning. Who in their right mind would be watching tennis at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, but then also streaming and yelling and screaming and trying to keep up this energy for 2 weeks straight. I mean, no one would. No one would. It's impossible. Match of the day was Pegula Bowsen. Yeah, it's a great match. Yeah, so Bublik's up a break in the third. Somehow. Crazy. The thing with Bublik is he could just as quickly go off completely. Yeah. Draper could win the next, 11 games in a row. The drop shot's killing Draper. Yeah. Crazy. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate it. Okay. So we're watching Sinner versus Rublev, and that's coming up in a couple hours. So we've got some time to spare. Listening and working, I appreciate it because it makes for an entertaining day. Thanks, Bradley. Appreciate that. What would you say Sinner's kryptonite? Alcaraz. Bublik's the drop shot king. Yeah. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it in the while I wait for the next match. Can Sinner beat Rublev? Yes. What's my take on Once's rant? We already went through it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Not really a master of any. I mean, look at Federer's hardcourt stats. What do you mean? Draper's getting pissed off too. So that's not good. Bublik's hit 23 drop shots. That's crazy. Are you serious? He's hit 23 drop shots in 3 sets? That's insane. That's crazy. Yeah, Draper's about to go down double break. Draper standing so far back, is that why? Okay. Chad, if Bublik beats Draper, how's Draper going to win Wimbledon? Because unless he avoids Bublik. Hey, Matthew, thank you for the $3 super sticker. Appreciate it. Because Bublik is better on grass than clay. I mean, that's crazy. Bublik's got a 4-1 lead in the third. That's crazy. Hey, Belinda, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. Thank you. He was never winning Wimbledon. I don't know. Too much pressure from the UK media to win Wimbledon? Well, that's what I was saying, but I still think Draper wins. Are you happy that Piers and Eben won? Yeah, I am. Love that. Draper just staring into the abyss. That's how I look after stream. Just Draper's got that stare. Who would have thought Bublik has a chance to make the French Open quarterfinals? That's so Bublik, though, right? That's such a Bublik thing. Like, it's like, that's ridiculous, but it's also so on brand. It's so on brand. Yeah, Bublik and Tiafoe in the quarterfinals is impressive and super unexpected. Yeah, Draper's not injured. I still think Draper wins in 5. If he can't come back in this set. By the way, Siad, you were saying at the start of the stream, Musetti-Draper final. Musetti-Draper final. Now you're saying, can Musetti beat Sinner? Why'd you change a tune? Why didn't you stick to your guns, mate? You started with Draper Musetti and now you're like, Sinner. Sinner has to beat Draper first, you were saying. I mean, why'd you backtrack? Come on now. I'm saying Draper's still going to win. Come on now. Just like you, Cam. I said Alcaraz going to win. I didn't see me saying, hello? I said Alcaraz going to win. Nothing's changed. Leave the guy alone. Renato, what did you say? That sounds like you said something. What did you say? What did you feel? I doubt Draper can recover. I think he can. I have faith. Bublik 5-1 in the third. What in the hell? No, that's right, Renato. I was just kidding. Alcaraz can beat Musetti. Yes, he can. It's sports, anything can happen. That's it. Will they win tomorrow, Gauff and Sabalenka? No, because they're playing... Gauff's not playing tomorrow. Looking like it's over for Draper. God, so many of you just... Chat, why am I on the Titanic that is Jack Draper's ship? And all of you are jumping off like it's sinking. This is crazy. Why am I still here? That's crazy. Where are all the Draper fans? You all just disappeared? What the hell happened? He's down 2 sets. He's about to go down 2 sets to 1 and you're all run away? Where's the loyalty? Madness. I'm not even a Draper fan and I'm saying that he's going to win. What the hell? I'm backing Draper in 5. Good. So many other people just running away. Crazy. A lot of fair weather Draper fans here, I see. Come on, back your guy. Come on. I'm backing him. Man, Bublik's hitting some good returns too. I hope Draper doesn't end up like Edmund. God, some of you are going like, man, I hope Draper doesn't retire after this. Oh my God, I hope Jack Draper doesn't quit tennis. Oh, man. I really hope he keeps playing tennis after this match. What the hell? You're freaking out. Is it really doom and gloom? Draper holds. It's crazy. It's either he's going to win Wimbledon or he's going to pursue a career in modeling. Like, damn. There's no middle ground. It's so up and down. Jack Draper's going to win a career Grand Slam. Oh, no, he's losing. He's down 2-1. No! He's going to be a train driver on the tube. Ugh. Ken Zverev, oh my God. Bro. You don't even get a warning for that. You're out forever, mate. You're out forever. Bye, buddy. Never come back. Honestly, Bublik playing like Musetti yesterday. Okay. I love when you troll Draper fans. No, it's just the ones that are like running away all of a sudden. It's like, what the hell, where are you going? Where are you all running to? You got some serious actual Draper fans in the chat that are sticking by him and believe in him like I do. And you got the ones that are just like, oh no, Draper, he's losing, so he's terrible now. Draper would be ashamed of his fans not believing. Not all. Some of his real fans are supporting him. This is the ultimate troll by Bublik, though. Is Bublik's style very tricky for Sinner? Sinner will crush Bublik. Like, come on now. Sinner will crush Bublik. I'm sorry. Bublik fans. Sinner will crush him. Maybe a tiebreak. 3-set tie with a tiebreak. Maybe not crush him, but if Sinner beats Rublev tonight and has to play Bublik, which I don't think he will because I think that Draper will win this match, I don't think Sinner's going to lose a set to Bublik. He could cause some trouble. He's troubling Draper. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. 40-30. Troubling Draper and troubling Sinner are not the same thing. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not the same thing. If Sinner plays Bublik, when he's getting prepared for Draper, Sinner's going to be playing so freely because he loves it. He'll be like, yes, I don't have to play. Jack is a way harder opponent for Sinner. Mentally and physically and game-wise. Bublik has drop shots and he's fooling Draper. And I think Draper's pissed off at himself that he's getting fooled, but Sinner's not going to get pissed off. Sinner's not going to... By the way, have they ever played? Has Bublik and Draper ever played? They played twice. I don't know how Draper is... Draper never lost a set. Also, Bublik's got the trainer out. Sinner's 3-1 against Bublik. The only win that Bublik had was a retirement victory. So, again. Sinner's preparing for Draper and he gets Bublik, he will be fine. This feels like a new Bublik though. You think Bublik's gonna beat Sinner? Are you serious? Are you real? Are you for real? You think Sinner's gonna beat Bublik? Oh, sorry, Bublik's gonna beat Sinner? Are you serious? Come on. What are we talking here? What are we saying? This is crazy talk. What do you mean? Could Bublik trouble Sinner? I guess that's the question. Also, still, no. Why not? Don't give me that anyone could beat anyone any day. Don't give me that shit. We're talking about Jannik Sinner 2025 on a clay court against Bublik? Jannik Sinner is not going to lose that match. No one's beating Sinner except for Alcaraz, yeah. See, Mia's so annoyed by what's going on, she just flipped her bed. Like, Mia's just like, she can't believe what people are saying in the chat. Look at her. She's like, she's outraged. She can't believe it. Even Mia's losing her mind. She's like, what the hell? This is crazy. Yeah, chat, you riled her up now. She's getting crazy now. What have you done, Mia? What have they done to you, Mia? I know. Sinner beating Bublik is crazy. Bublik beating Sinner is crazy. She can't believe it. Chat. She can't believe it. You're harsh with Bublik? No, I'm not harsh with Bublik. I'm not saying Bublik is terrible. I'm saying that Sinner is the best player on the planet for a reason. And he's so much better than everyone else for a reason. I'm not harsh on Bublik. I'm not shitting on Bublik. I'm saying that Sinner is amazing and a crazy player, and he is not going to lose to Bublik. Part of why Draper's losing, not just because of the drop shots, but also you can tell that he's a little bit tilted. Like, Draper's getting a little frustrated. Sinner's not going to get frustrated. The mental side of Sinner is not going to let Bublik do drop shots and let Bublik toy with him and get away with it. Whereas Draper's getting a little bit pissed off. But again, Draper's going to come back and win anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Does Draper come back or no? He comes back. If Bublik wins, it's low-key unexpected. Oh, 100%. I mean, it's very unexpected. All right, chat. We're getting out of here, though. I need to get stuff ready for the next matches. But I'll chuck you over to the next match with Sinner Rublev. I mean, we haven't watched Rublev for a minute, it feels. So that's going to be fun. That comes up in about an hour and a half. So jump on over here and talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to watch the rest of this match and watch Draper come back from the dead. And then when we get back live in a couple of hours, I will tell you so. But Norway wins. That was such an easy win. 2-3-2. He's playing Zverev in the quarterfinals. That'll be in a couple of days' time. And yeah, we've almost got the quarterfinals set. Only 2 spots left for the men's side of things. The ladies are locked in. We've got Keys versus Gauff. We've got Bowsen versus Andreeva. But we'll see who the men's quarterfinalists are, because we've already got Djokovic Zverev. We just got to figure out the next one. But I'll see you guys in a couple hours.